Talking about the iPhones. Look, if you don't have kids, you probably have an iPhone because you got to have something to keep you busy. The iPhone 6, it is coming soon. Chinese website TenCent, which is like their big social media site in China, says that the new iPhone 6 could enter production as soon as May and launch this summer. We've got an image of the rumored iPhone 6. There you go. Is that the sexiest thing you've ever seen in your life? And my God, will you wait online for 48 hours outside in the freezing cold for that thing? As you can see, the screen's a little bit bigger. We're getting a little more glass instead of some of the carbon or whatever it is that it's normally made out of. It's also going to have a better camera. It's going to be slimmer but slightly heavier and HD resolution, all that stuff. I know we're sort of jumping the gun on this thing because it hasn't happened yet, but this sort of goes to what we were talking about with Facebook. We just can't stop this machine, right? We're just in this machine and it's going, and we sort of have to talk about it because these things do change how we communicate and deal with each other and all that.
I hear people are killing themselves over this iPhone already. And those are just the ones making it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's, you always have to get the next thing. It's a status symbol. It's kind of like what a certain brand of jeans label would have been at one time, or what kind of car you pull up in. It's your next, you don't need to be in your car to show what kind of car you might have when you whip out your phone.
Right.
But I think people are starting to go, you know what, the 5S is going to hold me a while. I got a funny feeling about that 6 not moving the way they predicted
yeah,
to.
You think?
Yeah, I think they may have run their sequence out, and certainly the reports coming back from the Chinese factories have not been addressed to the point where people go, I think that took a little nibble out of them.
Okay, so let's jump on that for a second. So is part of it that people may finally get a little fatigued because of hearing all that stuff, what actually is going on in China? Because, you know, Apple has all these commercials where they say designed in Cupertino.
Right.
But they don't say made in China.
No.
It's very small on the back of your iPhone.
Right.
But that's it. So it's part of it.
Made by the blood of a million Chinese. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they literally are jamming things in with their fingers.
Right.
That's really how it's being made.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I honestly wish that the kind of social knowledge was the reason why it would slow sales. I have a feeling that when you put that image up on there, it's just like you could have put a 5 on there and I would not have known the difference. It's like, hey, and look at the other angle of this phone. It's like they think they've pulled the wool over our eyes, and I think that people are starting to catch on to it. Like there's going to be a 7 or a 6Z coming out like 2 months later, and it's like keeping up with the Jones is just like, it's becoming redundant and it's ridiculous. Now there's not even really any added benefit on this new phone. I mean, they've made it slimmer yet heavier. What a selling point, because that's what I want, you know, like something that's slightly smaller but like is really weighing me down. Right. I don't know.
And new with Shattermatic screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming too. All of it.
And there's an 8 megapixel camera. Like that's not, you know, shooting the pants off anybody.
Yeah. Is part of the problem though that the technology, we've gotten to this point where the technology comes so fast that maybe 20 years ago when it was about a pair of jeans or it was about a car, the technology to make a pair of jeans or what was in changed every couple of years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The car would change every couple of years. Now,
cyber tech changes exponentially every week.
Yes, yeah. And is that, so how do we control this thing? Because it really, I genuinely believe it's changing our brains, it's changing how we react and talk to each other and all that. Yeah. But is it too late to stop this thing?
We could be invaded by aliens and we wouldn't know because nobody looks up.
Yeah. It's depressing.
Now our spines and our necks, the vertebrae, will just form downward like this, and we'll have giant uber thumbs of the future.
Yeah, I mean there are studies proving that that people are starting to have neck problems, that people are having hand problems because they're always doing this.
Boobies.
How's that related? Why is that? Oh God. I'm going to do the rest of the show.
I'm going to start being on my phone more often.
Yeah, is also Apple part of the problem here? Like, even though the technology, everybody has access to the technology, that Apple used to be, remember their big 1984 commercial that they were fighting the PCs, Big Brother and the PCs, but now it's like, Apple is Big Brother now, and it's like, we don't know how to stop them. And I say this with all due irony because I have an iPad and I have an iPhone and I have a MacBook, so you know, I'm part of the problem.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the thing is, this stuff is very cool. Like, as much as I hate it, I'm like, God, this can do so many things.
Bring it back here. Bring it back here so we can legitimately love it.
Yes.
And not feel crappy about that.
Yeah.
Bring it back here. It's
But
yes,
how
it'll
do
be
you-
more expensive. Yes, but you would be the hero, and you would sell. You could invent something new and sell it just based on the fact that you came back here. We would love you so much more if you did that.
Is that even possible anymore because of how big the companies are? Because they buy everybody. The second any interesting technology comes out, we see this all the time. Anything comes out, Google buys it, and then they incorporate it into their stuff, or Apple buys it and they incorporate it. We don't have we have tech startups, but they immediately get bought and incorporated into everything else instead of a new gadget. So it's partly economics too.
So
right?
I think it's part of a larger picture. It's the gestalt of a global thing of all peoples of all nations. The underreported revolts in Iceland, and the nations that are throwing all their crooks out and all that stuff. What we're doing now is we're starting to slowly wake up out of our sort of media-induced coma to join. The rest of the world's been doing all this for a while now. They're ahead of us on this.
Yeah.
They've already seen and are familiar with the things our eyes are just becoming familiar with about the greed running here, because we kind of liked how comfy it was for us here. It was like, yeah, I know, but we got the good version of it. We're on the good side of it, and we aren't on the good side of it anymore.
Yeah, well, if you want to find out more about the Iceland revolution, they literally had a revolution and jailed bankers and changed the system. We did a video on that a couple weeks ago, so just you can put that in the Google and you'll find it. All right.
You're one of the guys talking about
Well,
it.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Give me a high five.
Yeah.
Will you give me something?